Yes.
It is 7:30, Tuesday, July 18th, 2023. We are now calling to order the Historic Town of Eatonville regular council meeting. Mrs. King, do we have a quorum? Would you please roll call?
Yes, Councilwoman Randolph. Councilman M. Daniels.
Present.
Councilman Washington.
Present.
Vice Mayor Daniels.
Hello.
And Mayor Gardner.
Please stand for the invocation by Reverend Britton. Welcome back. And pledge of allegiance.
Let us pray. Father God, we thank you once again for another day that you have made, and we will even now continue to rejoice and be glad in it. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to live, move, and have our being. We come tonight just thanking you for this community, Eatonville, that you have placed us in to be stewards. We want to first of all lift up the administration, those that are in leadership position in this community, our mayor and the councilmen, and those that work intimately and directly with this community. We pray that you will continue to bless them with knowledge and wisdom and understanding to make decisions that will be beneficial and advantageous for this community. We also thank you, God, for every resident of this community, God, that you continue to bless us to live in harmony and unity with one another, to continue to respect each other's personalities as well as each other's property. We thank you again for this opportunity to come to this town council meeting to be further educated and updated on the state and the welfare of this our community. We thank you for everything that you're doing in, through, and for Eatonville. We actually continue to bless it and keep it and cause your face to shine upon it, be gracious unto it, even lift up your countenance unto it, and give us most of all your peace. We ask you all these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. First item is the approval of the agenda. I am asking that we amend it to include Resolution 2023-12, which is stemming from the charter review, in which we stated that we would have an advisory board.
Second.
It's been moved and second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? All right.
And can we move to council decision?
So let's rescind the aye.
Yeah.
No. That's the first one. You put this, so you add this to the agenda.
We just approved the agenda. So you want to move,
I thought
change
you
it,
just said, add this to the agenda.
add the resolution in 2023,
That's what I thought you just
and
said.
then the whole motion. So that's okay. So let me rescind the motion. The motion, let's rescind your second and your, okay. So everything has been rescinded. So the amendment is to approve to add the resolution 2023-12 as
agenda.
item number 3
To the
in the consent agenda. So now you would like
To move to
number 2 to
council decision.
council decision. All right, so it leaves item 1 and item 3 for the consent and number 2 for decision. All right, with that being said, is there a motion to approve?
Second.
It's been moved in second. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? All right, so the agenda is approved. Citizen participation.
Yes, we have Angela Thomas.
Good afternoon, Council.
Good afternoon.
Yards and water meters.
One is a question about what's the status on installing the new water meters? And two is I called on June 16th at 3:15, called code enforcement, because the yard across the street, the grass is meeting the tree line, and that grass need to be cut. So I never got a response back from code enforcement, a call or anything, so it's a month and 2 days later. So that grass do need to be cut, and I did see a snake in my yard. Not to say it came from there, but those are my two concerns.
What's the address?
I don't know the address, it's just right across the street. I think Macedonia owns the property, where the little house is at, where Anthony
Clark
Grant.
Street.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
We have Louis Dean Cummings.
To Mayor and Councilman Louis Dean Cummings, 421 Campus Drive. My concern, just listening to the workshop about the garbage, it should be something put out there. Do not put garbage side the road on the weekends. And it is awful. I know in Catalina Park, it's real bad. And like now we have a house that I think it's 312 Campus View, they're renovating. I mean, it's a so I wouldn't invite anybody to come in Catalina Park right now. So can code enforcement put forth something to see that them trying to clean it up a little bit better? Although, yeah, they're renovating. I think this is their third dumpster they brought in today. But it's sad to see all these black bags side the road on weekends. And they know that they don't come until Tuesday. Then you see, like you said, I think Councilman Daniel said something about the refrigerators and stove and all of that beside the road. And further concern about what I must say, I give them credit. I don't know who it is, but they keep my garbage can clean all the time. So I guess I'm just one of those special ones that they look after. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
And we have LaWanna Jordan.
Yeah. Hi, good afternoon, good afternoon, everyone, council persons and Mayor Gardner and the residents. I'm speaking on behalf of the chamber. We got a couple of issues and that we like some answers to at some point. So I know last evening I did see a schedule for the Founders Day program. And on the program, it did include the chamber. So I'd like to know the chamber as some portion of it. So I'd like to know who do we need to speak to for clarification as to what that role is going to be for the chamber. So that's one concern. And then also another concern was the communication. I know that LaWanna did send an email out to you all today just regarding the communication when the roads are going to be closed or what have you. It's got really bad in front of the chamber today, and also there's another business, the Harry Goddess, is right next door. So I don't know how long that project was planned before, but please, if we could kind of shore up that communication when we're going to have projects that's going to affect the businesses, we'd appreciate that. And lastly, I'd like to announce if you all are interested in donating blood this coming Saturday, the 22nd, we're going to have one blood will be on the property from 10 to 3 this Saturday. So if you could give us a call if you want to schedule ahead of time, or just come down and let's give to a good cause. All right. Thank you guys very much.
That was the last
That's it.
one.
All right. Next item is the approval of the consent agenda for items number 1 and items 3. Is there a motion?
Second.
It's been moved in second. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed. Consent agenda approved for items 1 and 3. And the final item is the approval of town council resolution adopting the final plat of enclave at Lake Shadow.
Yes, council, mayor and council, just to bring up to date a few items regarding this project. This is an ongoing project with the final plat approval for the enclaves at Lake Shadow. Included in there is a boundary survey and a resolution for that final plat. There was some comments regarding the internal document that was added. It was more so just for reference. And in review of that document, there were some items on there that showed failure of certain items leading up to it. I did get some clarification from our current engineer and our planner that confirmed that the last page, which states that this recorded plat is, it meets the requirements of our statute and it was done properly. So going off that document, any of those failures that were included in there, those comments were adjusted or reviewed and corrected prior to the actual planner from CPH approving that document for that. So if you just read through it, you'll see that. But just want to bring that to your attention. I know there were some comments on it. Actually, I had several comments come my way. That document was really an internal document, but we included it just for council review to see that. But we do have the developer here. If there's any questions that you have for him regarding that, we'll proceed from there.
So,
I have
yes,
a question about the document. Of course, I call you today to get more clarification. But my issue was with this is that we're not trying to do anything to prolong this project. I was questioning the failures on the documents that was dated March the 23rd. And also my concern was that when we have documents here from given to the council, I have nothing to do but just go by exactly what has been presented to me.
Sure.
So those corrections have not been, these things have not been corrected, or they have been corrected.
They have been corrected.
All of it, 100%?
Absolutely.
Okay.
The planner doesn't give their certification of it
Yeah.
until they've met the requirements. So
Okay.
on that last page of it, page 11, which is 18 in the document, it states at the bottom, certification, I hereby certify that this plat has been reviewed for the conformity of the requirements of chapter 177, parts 1 and the Florida statute. And so this basically gives the clearance that they've met the requirements for that, just for clarity. I understand that the document shows the internal progress of it. It's something that I'll work on with staff, but it was brought to us by our new planner, and he brought it to our attention, so that's why it was starting to come up in the comments. And then you brought it up again today.
Yeah, if you present documents that are accurate, because I have no other way but to go by exactly what's been presented to me.
Sure.
So we need to make sure that we do a better job in getting the accuracy of reporting to us, and that will alleviate any extra questions.
Absolutely.
I have a couple of items. I see one over here on page 8. All easements listed, title certificate are shown on plat. It said approve and fail. So how you got both of them right?
Again, this was a working document up until that point. And the final page is what clears it. That information was provided, and I actually talked with the engineer today, and he stated that it was a PDF comments, as you stated about it, says that the plat comments were, with additional comments were made there. I'll be honest, this was internal information that was provided to council that was not necessary.
So what
Because it was approved.
So what we should get then?
I'm sorry?
What we should have in front of us then?
You should have, the two documents that you should have right now in front of you is the resolution and also the site plans of the, I'm sorry, hold on.
Site plan, that's part of the,
You should have the final plat, you should have the boundary survey and the resolution of of the final plat. Those are the three items that were for yours. The other one was the comments from the internal process.
So,
So
Mr. President, when can we get a corrected copy of this? Because
I mean, this is,
truthfully, there is no need for a corrected copy of it because that was an internal document, if you follow me.
I don't understand.
it's just a working document. So in order to get to the certification, that's a checklist that the planner would have given to the builder. And they're going back and forth with it. It wasn't anything that really should have been, it was just an administrative piece behind closed doors, how to get to the certification. It's just a checklist.
Checklist, so why they didn't complete the checklist? This is March 23rd, you got the checklist, so why we don't have one August 18th with everything corrected?
I mean,
And we got some March 2023, this was done, so why we gonna have a final saying that, oh, everything was checked off on August 18th?
Again, there is no final document needed to present to our legislative body for that because it's an internal process.
Well, I mean,
It was brought to the council, but, and I just stated it should not have been there.
so who's,
But we have received comments from our current engineer and our current town planner that they had met all the requirements necessary for that, and I have that in documentation.
so where's the planner and where's the tell us that? Are you supposed to tell us that?
Absolutely, that's why you have an administrator.
Mayor, before you make your motion, there is a correction that needs to be done on the resolution,
the name,
the number. We need to change the
Yes.
number.
2023. Wait, on this particular resolution?
Yeah, on the resolution, I just want to be sure that we're not duplicating numbers. If we can change that from 2023-13. You make your motion for the resolution, 2023-13
For,
for the
we're
plan.
going right now, 2020,
Yes,
instead of 10, it's 13.
that's correct.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, with that being said, is there a motion to approve resolution 2023-13 with the correction from 10 to 13?
And I believe I need to read the preamble.
Sorry.
Resolution 2023-13, a resolution of the Town Council of the Town of Eatonville approving and adopting the final plat of enclave at Lake Shadow.
All right, you have heard the preamble. Now we're ready for the motion. Move it again.
He's so moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Moved in second, all in favor, say aye. Aye, all opposed?
And just so I'm clear, M. Daniels?
Aye.
No, you moved it?
Vice Mayor.
Vice Mayor Daniels, okay, thank you. Okay.
All right, no other items on the agenda. Mr. Presley, your report?
Yes, just a few updates for the council. Don't forget, next week is our budget hearings, our budget workshops, starting on the 24th, 25th, and 26th at 5:30. We do conclude that process will be anywhere between an hour and 30 minutes to 2 hours each night. And we will provide that information available. Code enforcement comments that were made, we did have the initial code enforcement meeting last night with the board. 4 of the 5 members showed up, and they are planning the next meeting to start the process of handling code enforcement issues and using our current board to establish that. Also, last night, we had the Eatonville Community Stakeholders Group, very good showing, very good facilitated meeting. The documents are being put together now for minutes, and we'll provide it to council for review of those items that's being presented to the stakeholders group. We'll have follow-up meetings there. Regarding the meter program, we are 96% done with the installation of all the new meters, the touchless meters that are going in. Upon the completion, we will bring it back to work council to present and we will do an educational piece for the community on how that operates now. This will give access to the internet for them to keep up with their meter reads and so forth from that. Duly noted on the chamber comments, we will be responding to those within the coming days to that comment. But to know that portion of that road is a county road, and some of those items are not internally from the town, it's from county, approving that because of that. But I will work with the county to make sure there's some communication for it. And That's all I have for tonight on my.
Attorney Shepherd.
Yes, ma'am. Last night we had the, I guess, reorganizational meeting for the Code Enforcement Board. Met the new board members and gave them some basics on sunshine and public records, and also how Code Board is supposed to work. It was only one member who had ever been there before. And so we went through it all. It seemed to go well. And so Code Enforcement is about to get kicked up again. And that is all I have for tonight.
Thank you. Councilman Marlon Daniels.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming out. I have a couple things. Can we talk to the 5-3 residents, the robocall, some people said they're not receiving robocall, so can we do a strategic approach on ensuring that robocall numbers are updated, text messages, we are during one hurricane season? And some people say they're not receiving messages and all that, so we can just look at that. The other thing I will be introducing, I've talked to Mr. Preston about it already. We're in 2023 and we still have to come up and sign checks as council people. So I've talked to Mr. Preston about electronic check signatures. I mean, it's holding up processes and all that. Town council shouldn't have to come up here in this year and still be signing checks manually. That just don't happen. You know, it's electronic signature. So I'll ask that everybody to start considering that to make the process easier to do business in the historic town of Unionville. And besides that, thank everybody for coming out and enjoy the week.
Councilwoman Randolph.
Okay, thank you. Thank you everyone for coming. I have a couple things I just want to mention. Is there any way that we can have as a part of our minutes when we approve for certain projects or whatever we make approval for, if we can put the dollar amount there? Just to give an example, it was approved for $50,000 as an example for Founder's Day celebration and whatever the amounts are. That would be very helpful because it would alleviate me from trying to research different things that I may have overlooked on my notes. So that would be very helpful. Also, I wanted to find out about the person that has been here for a few months, maybe 4 or 5 months. It's doing accounting. It's in this office here. When you go down the hallway on the left-hand side. Now, 2 months ago, you told me that was going to be that person's last week. Are they still here?
They are not here.
You're no longer here?
They've been gone, I'll have to check the date, but they have been gone a couple weeks now.
So what has been the outcome of that person's responsibility for what they were engaged to do for the town of Unionville?
Their purpose for being here was to assist with the audit preparation. We are currently in the last stages of presenting that audit to council. And so once they had completed their portion of their contract was terminated.
Okay. All right. Also, the next one that I have here, the planner. Who is the planner? What is the planner's name? And I don't have any information about this particular person, but I know we do have someone here.
Sure. There was an email sent out the week he was hired, Mr. Cobbin. I sent it to all council.
Collins?
Cobbin McGee.
Maybe I overlooked that. Okay.
Yeah, and also he was at the last council meeting. I introduced him to council as well. It included his biography and his background in the planning and zoning part.
Do we still have Mrs. Carol?
Miss Tara is our consultant, and yes, we do. I actually was just updated on the current agreement that we have with her, and she still has roughly about 80 hours of part of that agreement that has not been used. We do plan to keep her for special projects, and I'll present that back to council for approval.
Okay, and there has been complaints about a water leak on the corner of Mulberry and Eaton Streets.
You said Mulberry?
Yeah, Mulberry.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's about 2 streets over. It's been going on for a month now.
Okay.
So we can just look into that and see what the problem is. Let's see. thank you for the financial report. And I think that would be something that would be very good. If you just make that note of that, give that to us, that would be very helpful. Also, I want to find out, did we take care of the issue with the gambling machine in the store down the street?
Mayor, council, citizen. I've been down there a couple of times. I pulled the machine out and there's no lines hooked to it for it to be hooked up to the internet. There's no Bluetooth where it can get Wi-Fi, and there's no slots for people to. So whoever's saying that they're gambling down there, those machines are not able to gamble. And if they do have some incident where somebody's able to gamble, I need to know. But I've been down there a couple of times and I actually pull the machines out, and there's no way they can be hooked up to the internet,
Okay, just want to make sure we take care of that. Also, I want to make mention that Mrs. Louise Franklin was a former employee here. She retired here after 15 years of service for the town of Eatonville. Let me speak to the mic. She's the last sibling of the Franklin family, which have a really strong legacy here in the town of Eatonville. And we have a few friends. We are planning on a Franklin legacy of celebrating 100 years. Those 100 years were great contribution to the Eatonville community, and also played a very important role in the existence as to where we are now, dealing with segregation back in the days. So I want to welcome everyone. This is going to be held on July the 29th. So for anyone who would like to come, from 10 until 12 noon. Her birthday is on July the 28th, which is on a Friday, but everything is going to be inclusive of that day. So we want to make sure everyone comes by. When you come back to the next meeting, we'll have some flyers. And I've already sent information to Mr. Presley and also to our town clerk, Mrs. King, to ask for a proclamation from the mayor. And mayor and council, we would like you all to be there. The crime prevention workshop. I understand we're going to have another time that we'll have another crime prevention workshop by the chief. Also, there were some concerns and discussion televised this past weekend about the pool. And I'm going to ask Mayor to give us an update on that as to where we are with that. Other than that, that's basically all that I have right now. Oh yeah, last but not least, when are we going to hire chief of police? That can be asked.
Councilman Washington.
I'm thinking about coming out on
Thank you.
one thing I want to acknowledge that Eatonville Chambers should be on every event, literature. This is part of Eatonville. I've talked with the Chambers about that. Your part is honorary. I mean, they don't get with you, your name should be on anything that goes out. Then they will, that's how I feel about the Chambers, because they are an honorary member of this community. And about the pool, I saw the same thing on the pool, looking for a pump. And I'm trying to figure out why we haven't, the pool haven't been in conforming use for how long? 3 or 4 years? Do it lose its conformances after so many months? Or we just letting it go? Do we need to follow our same laws that everybody's have to follow? If something out of non-conforming use, that you just go ahead and start over and just open it up, or they have to? That's my question to the attorney, whoever be the answer to that. But anything out of conforming use is done with. You can't use it no more. So that's something you look at too. It has lost its conforming use. So because it's been out of date longer than 6 months. And I just thank everybody for coming out. Thank you.
Vice Mayor.
Yes. Good evening. If we can find out how long would it take for code enforcement to get certified? And I think that's holding us up, because if you're not certified, how can you tell me not to park my car, in the grass. So I've been asking for that. I asked the previous code enforcement officer that was under CRA, and for some odd reason, his certification was under the executive director. That's the answer he gave me when I asked, "Are you certified?" I'm not sure if that's in the statutes or that is legal, but that was the answer I gave, and that's how the CRA, that's how code enforcement under the CRA was functioning. In order to get some of these issues solved, we gotta get these guys certified. I don't know how long, I know we've talked about it before, but I think it's really unacceptable if we have a resident call. If you're not certified, at least you should be able to answer the phone or be able to get back. It took a month, according to our citizen, for code enforcement to get back. To me, I think that's, you can ride around in this truck, I think you can answer the phone and, check emails to see how you can help our citizen until you get certified. And that's my report for tonight. Thanks everyone for coming out.
I received a call from the news people. They just wanted an update on the pool. We want to pump. In regards to the ADA compliance, we had already spoken with persons that know pools, and they stated that I needed the pieces just to make it ADA compliant, which threw it out of conformity. When we say that we don't, shut it down, don't use it anymore, I mean, it's old. I mean, that's the same as when your hot water heater, sometimes you fix it. You don't just throw it out because now it's older. I mean, if we get rid of the pool right now, what do they have? What do they have? And I understand what future growth looks like, but even with future growth, you're talking 2, 3, 4, 5 years. And in the meantime, what? So I think that the pool serves a huge purpose for this town. And unless the citizens say shut it down, then if it's something that we can bring it to ADA compliance, then I think that we should. And I don't have anything else. I mean, thank everyone for coming.
What's on the pool?
Pardon me?
When the pool gonna open?
Well,
Summer's over with. When the pool gonna open? I'm just trying to see when the pool gonna open.
But what constitutes summer? We're in Florida though.
I know, but we
It
only use
stays
the
warm
pool
for a
for the
while.
summer. Just,
Well, I guess be clear because
my clearness, knock it down. That's my clearness. That's what I've said from the word get it go. Don't put good money in bad. That's not, from day one, you should have knocked it down.
all right. That being said, everyone have a good night. I move for adjournment.
So moved. Second.
It's been moved in second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. It's 8:02. Meeting adjourned.
I was so hoping. I was so hoping.